Does Bruce Harrell have strong enough of a lead right now over Katie Wilson?
Is it strong enough? No, nothing is strong enough in terms of the kinds of returns we've already had, given the fact that only 20% of the votes have been counted, and we should be looking at another 20% or more in terms of this election. Based upon that, anything can be different. Now, the old thing is that traditionally these last-minute votes come in. They are Democratic votes. They're younger. They're usually ones that are more progressive, so to speak. However, I think Bruce has enough to be able to hold on. I'm predicting he's winning and will win. The important part is that this was not a night or a day of voting where we saw, I would say, anything that was overwhelmingly progressive. What we saw, it was overwhelmingly Democrat like the rest of the country. But that really kind of reflects the kind of attitude people have right now that really is kind of, whatever we got, it's not good enough. And so from that, many of the incumbents did see a change. We did see some progressive shots here in terms of both our city prosecutor as well as city council member. But other than that, I got to say, there was no surprise. What I would call it is a mixed bag. It was not really a clarifying, policy-driven kind of election. The only thing that was consistent was kind of an anti-Trump feel. But that's one that's pretty traditional around here, whether or not Trump is running.
Cathy, Mayor Harrell his campaign centered around Wilson's lack of management and budgeting experience. Is that what got him over the hump, or perhaps got him over the hump?
I think so. I do think so. Bruce has not been one that has particularly articulate all throughout his election phase. I mean, the guy is doing his job, and he is truly somebody who doesn't love the campaign role. However, I do think that he has kind of a consistency with voters that really does remember that he's something that is a lot more safe and sure than somebody new coming in that doesn't have any electoral experience.
Cathy, historically, the late votes do tend to be from those who are more on the progressive side. What I'm hearing you saying is this is going to be extremely close, and we're going to probably be waiting another few days before being able to declare a winner?
Few days? You're optimistic. I would say in terms of this is going to come down to the very last. We've got 10 days worth of votes coming in, and I think that they'll be dribbling in for a while. I can say that I do think that Bruce has enough to win. I also say that in terms of some of this, don't forget that some of those votes coming in that are progressive think Bruce is the progressive guy. It's not exactly like he has a background that's carved in any conservative. He's been pushed to be the conservative because he's really the more conservative of the two progressives.
I was kind of surprised last night to see lines at ballot drop-off boxes. So people were really kind of waiting until the last minute.
No kidding. I drove around all of Seattle and some of Everett and yesterday just to be able to see if there was anybody at ballot boxes. My goodness, there were cars lined up in every single place. I went to 11 different ballot boxes, and at all of them, no matter what time I got there, there were people driving in and lines of cars just waiting to get closer to the ballot box. So you're right. It definitely was one of those last-minute days, which is not unusual. Half of the votes usually come in on election day or after. So I'm preparing for not just a 1 or 2 day, and we have all the answers, not at all. I think that there are people who have won. I think that we do have a new city prosecutor, and I think we do have a new city council member. I do think we have some changes, but I have to say that there are not a lot of sureties today as to who's going to be swearing in for the office.
And real quick, while we still have you, Cathy, what about the race for King County Executive, Gurmai Zahalai and Claudia Balducci?
That's too close. That one there is really too close to call, because in that one I could actually see the woman's vote. When you talk about the progressives and their votes changing things. If you look into that, you'll find that they're 55-45 women, and they're mostly under 65. In terms of looking at whose votes are left to be counted, I think Claudia has a fair shot at this. I really do.
Do you have one simple takeaway from the election overall, nationwide, for Democrats?
Yes. There was no other place to go. I'm not saying that we sort of won the day. I'm saying we didn't lose the day. In all of this, I see it as very much a case of people looking at what they see, being upset, but not being overwhelmed by the people that really they voted for. This was, in many cases, a kind of vote. It was just not a big kind of gusty wind coming in. It was truly kind of just all right, well, I'm not feeling great. This is how I'm going to vote.
All right. Longtime Democratic strategist Cathy Allen joining us on Seattle's Morning News. Thank you, Cathy.